and shoot, flyboy.
Yeah, mic check 1, 2. They see me rolling, they hating, patrolling, they trying to kiss me. Ramen nerdy, ramen nerdy, kiss me ramen nerdy, kiss me ramen nerdy, kiss me ramen nerdy. Not taking the hobbits to Isengard, not taking the hobbits to Isengard.
Whenever I'm about to do something, I think, would an idiot do that? And if they would, I do not do that thing.
You wanna play? I'll play. They hoping that they gon' kiss me ramen nerdy, kiss me ramen nerdy, kiss me ramen nerdy, kiss me ramen nerdy, kiss me ramen nerdy. This is the way. Ready program. Let's go.
Hey everybody, welcome to Ramen Nerdy. I'm Greg.
And I'm Garrick.
And today we have episode 2.25, Cheese Mule.
Who's Cheese Mule, Greg?
I'd like to welcome to the show, Cheese Mule. Hey Aaron.
Hey, how you doing?
I'm great. So, unfortunately, some of the funny parts of this conversation you missed because we hadn't started recording yet, but this amateur over here wanted to open a bottle prior to us
I know. Absolute crazy. It's like you almost don't even listen to the show.
It's almost like that.
I'm going to give you a chance to redeem yourself, though, because when you did open it, what sound did the bottle make?
It's not a trick.
You want me to actually make the noise?
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
What's really
Close enough.
What's really impressive is that he just inhaled before doing it. Like
Yeah.
I would have just taken the bottle and.
Boom. Yeah.
Did you close the bottle back up?
He did,
Yeah,
because
yeah,
I made it. No, hold on. I was going to let him try this.
Oh, okay,
To
okay.
redeem himself.
Okay.
You know what Foley is? You know.
Yeah, I've heard of a Foley before.
Okay, so here's the thing. You need to
Matt Foley.
you need to hold the bottle up to the thing and open it up and try and make sure that it sounds great when you open it. Go. You got a little slosh.
Not
and
too bad. Yeah, the slosh is pretty good.
You got a little slide whistle on the.
Yeah. You also hit the mic, so you lose some points for that, but.
I don't have the best depth perception anymore.
Not a bad dismount, but you stuck the landing. So
Well, but then he put the lid back on.
Well, let's see how professional does it.
Okay, so this is generally Garrick's.
So,
thing, I'm going to let him because I'm usually like looking up the review. So, although I did like the slide
it's already
whistle
been
thing,
it's already been uncorked like 9 times today, so we're losing some effect.
Yeah.
What are we drinking today, Aaron?
That would be Hamilton, Florida rum.
This is the
Florida Rum Society.
Florida Rum Society. This is one of their picks. Also, currently part of Greg's floor selection.
It is an impressive floor selection.
I just didn't want it on my shelves anymore.
And you have opted for ice with the Hamilton.
I have. It's very warm.
Greg, are you ice or
I'm going to do like 1 cube.
1 cube? And 1 cube only, please. Yeah.
That's okay, Aaron. I'll reach all the way across the table for that.
Well, use your words.
Okay. And there is your pre-fill, my friend.
There you go.
1 cube in the Club 33 glass.
Of course.
Ooh, that's swanky.
It is. I'm bougie up in this bitch.
This is a hefty glass.
That you can kill a small person with that.
I have. Oh, boy.
Is that on the Small World ride?
Yes. I've actually never drank on that. I've been drunk on that, but I've never drank on it.
Wow, we're really close to killing that.
Are we? It felt like there was more in there than that.
Yeah.
Anyway, yeah, so Florida Rum Society, it's kind of like the Central Florida Rum Council, only less cool, but way more organized.
/ real.
That too. Just because they go to distilleries and pick out barrels and have it bottled with your name on it doesn't mean they're better. I mean, yeah, they're a lot better. They're a whole lot better. Anyway, so Aaron, and we'll get to the Cheese Mule story, but first time on the podcast. Have you been on a podcast at all before?
Very briefly, and by accident.
Oh, ATF?
Yeah.
Yeah. I've been on that one.
Yeah,
But
that's
on
a good one.
purpose.
That's
Yeah.
that's a fun podcast. So what, did you just wander into the boardroom when they were recording and
Pretty much. Art was there. He's like, yeah, come on in. You can hang out. And then he's like, well, you're talking, aren't you? I said, well, okay.
I could if you really want me to.
Right?
And they have an interesting setup because they use area microphones, so they just sit around and drink and talk. They don't.
They don't lean forward and speak into this magic thing.
No. They just talk, which happens, right? Anyway, so Aaron, we brought you in we had to have a talk about some other stuff anyway, but just to give some context, you do a lot of different things, but your primary gig is in the aeronautics industry.
Aerospace, yeah.
Aerospace, okay. We know you through Rum Sensei, our buddy John, as
We know you the way we know most people, by just drinking and smoking cigars.
Yeah. Specifically, there is an unnamed documentary series that you guys are working on. I'm not on part of that one. And so that's one of the things we're going to talk about offline.
Okay.
But there's probably some stories about what's going on and some things. Probably some fun stories about some weird adventures in planes. And
there
at
are
some point
a few
we're gonna have to
weird
explain-
adventures in planes.
And,
Yeah.
we have to explain the Cheese Mule story. So, and you know what? We might as well do that sooner than later.
Okay. Do you want to start there?
I mean, I can. So the setup for it is my first job out of college as a pilot was with a company that operated out of Puerto Rico, and I flew airplanes between Puerto Rico, most of the islands in the Caribbean, and Venezuela. And one of the islands I stopped at regularly was Curacao, and since it's a Dutch protectorate, they get all the Dutch things.
A Dutch protectorate.
Yes.
Now, not to get into the full geopolitical definition, what the fuck does that mean?
I think it means they can dial 911 and the Dutch military shows up, like both guys.
Do they have a windmill on their money?
Ooh, that's a good question. I forgot.
Okay.
It's not Dutch if it doesn't.
I think it is Dutch money. It wasn't dollars.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah. But so my normal run was the town in the northwest of Puerto Rico called Aguadilla. I would land in Curacao, and then I would land in Caracas, and then I would go back to Puerto Rico at night.
And Caracas is one of those cities that you hear about from the news
Yeah.
in not positive ways.
It lives up to that reputation quite well, because when I was there, Chavez was still in power, so there was still sort of a lid on it.
Didn't you have something like you were walking home from the airport one night and you had people following you to make sure that you weren't killed?
Well, they were either following me to make sure I wasn't, or to watch to see when I was.
Oh, like
Yeah.
I'm going to film this and go viral kind of a
Could have
thing?
gone either way.
That's my ticket out of here?
Well, it was 2005, so we didn't have like a lot of camera phones yet.
Oh,
So they were
okay.
just doing it straight for the entertainment.
Got it. Just like, hey, where'd you
As
get the
one
popcorn?
does.
Don't worry about it. Don't worry about it.
Just keep walking, gringo.
Okay, sorry. I'm going to interrupt you a lot, by the way.
That's fair.
do that. It's
Why
our
break
show.
with tradition now?
It's my interview style.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So we land in.
A funny thing. Jerk face. Sorry, go ahead.
So we would land in Curacao, and we had two guys that were our ground crew every day.
Mm-hmm.
And after a while, they would ask me, do you want us to pick stuff up from you from in town, right? Because we could carry certain amounts of things through customs and not really worry about it.
Yeah.
And
It's like you're getting back from a cruise.
Yeah, it's
only
that-
you're doing it regularly.
yeah, every day, to the point that I know the customs officers and I know their kids' names, and we trade stories on what
That's
happened.
not creepy.
Well, I mean, you see them every day, and we just literally do
The
this.
kids?
No, the customs officer. I never met the kids.
Okay. Less creepy.
Yeah, it's a lot less creepy. They had guns. I didn't need to worry about that.
Customs agents.
Yeah. Well, so we would ask them. They would ask us, "Hey, do you want us to pick stuff up for you or whatever?" And apparently, it was a long-standing thing in that base of getting cheese. And we're not talking like the little kind of things you get at the store. These are 16-pound full wheels.
Hardcore, uncut,
Yes.
street quality cheese.
Yes, street quality cheese.
Do you know the
Exactly right.
street value of this cheese?
Go that way really fast.
If you come to a tree,
Turn.
turn.
If something gets in your way, turn. You get partial credit, but
Yeah. So
if anybody out there understood what just happened, let us know, because it's quite funny.
So we would get
Uncut.
yeah,
Street cheese.
like full. So I would on the regular basis walk into customs with my flight case, my overnight rollerboard because we wouldn't know if we'd break down or wherever. And then I would also have 2 16 or something pound wheels of cheese, like factory out of the factory cheese.
Yeah, how big is a 16-pound wheel of cheese?
It's nearly 2 feet
Out of the
across.
factory. Mix me with OEM cheese.
Yeah, it is
OEM cheese.
It's got to be pushing 18 inches across, 24 inches across.
That's not an insignificant
No,
cheese
it's-
chunk. Now
And
is
how
it?
deep? How tall?
Probably 6 inches.
That's legit. That's a real ass wheel of cheese.
I mean, you're asking me to remember this from quite a few years ago.
That's
now,
fine.
but
Just
Approximation.
Just
Yeah.
holding your arms up and you're like,
Yeah, I mean, it was, you know,
It's not like you put this in a pocket or you. I mean, it was. This,
no,
this
didn't
is
fit in the luggage.
It's more than a football. Like
Yes.
you're noticeable walking through customs with these giant yellow wheels of fucking cheese.
Yep.
Were they yellow? I'm assuming they're yellow.
They were yellow.
In my
actually.
mind, I'm envisioning them yellow.
Yeah,
so
they were, and they were delicious because I got to try it a couple of times.
I hope you did.
You're-
You were
you're
bringing
the
them into the
cheese
country.
wheeling it.
Well, it's
Regularly.
you couldn't you if you opened a wheel, it was open, and then you had to basically eat the thing or it would go bad. Just like
Yeah. Then you had to cut it with Cheese Whiz and
yeah.
Yeah, that's not Gouda.
I see what you did there.
I've been waiting all day for that.
I bet you have. Do you have any more cheese-related puns?
Maybe. I
Oh,
don't-
yeah, but hold on. Keep going. Keep
We'll
going.
give
keep
you a
going.
chance to work on it.
Yeah.
So, but mostly it was for the families, of the crew, or the ground crew, or mechanics, or whatever that would ask us for this stuff. But after a while, people started to know because it's a really small town, especially around the airport and that community. They would recognize me at because on Sundays I'd be off and I'd be at the beach or I'd be at a restaurant or something, and they'd be like, "Hey, you're
like
that."
the Brad Pitt of Caracas.
Yeah, I don't know about that. It's certainly the blondest one around. Oh yeah, for the first 3 weeks of me being down there, I couldn't stand out in the direct sunlight for more than about 10 minutes.
Yeah, as a ginger, you're definitely I don't foresee you doing well around any of those equator nations.
Yet I have been magnetically drawn to the tropical parts of the world my entire life
Well, because they're better.
because they are better, But being originally sort of Minnesotan, Washington, it doesn't.
Minnesotan, Washington.
I
Yeah,
was
that's
born
not
in
a.
Seattle.
I didn't know
Yeah,
those touched.
Was that?
I didn't know those two places touched.
Well, they touch when you move around a lot as a kid.
Oh, okay. Makes sense.
Either way, you own a fine selection of hats and sunscreens.
I own there is like John Wick hides guns in a house. I hide sunscreen around my life.
Around your life.
Yeah, so there's one in my car. There's one in my overnight kit. There's one,
Is it like SPF Glidden interior eggshell?
it's
Like you put that stuff on it, look, you just painted the
it's
house.
SPF Armor All.
Yeah. I think Armor All would be one more of those like tanning sizzly type things. Anyway, keep going.
What do you use? Crisco.
Let's go. Fine American product.
So people would start to recognize me, and they go, "Hey, you're that guy," and I'm like, "Well, I hope not. Why?" And they say, "Well, you go to Curacao," and how do you know this? Like, I don't know who this. I have no idea who this
It's
person
just some
is.
random person walking up to you at
Random
an
person
airport.
walking me up, near the airport, but far enough away.
Near the airport. So you're not even at the airport.
I'm not even in
This
the-
is some random hobo coming up to you on the street.
Like at the coffee shop, 2 miles away from the airport.
Hey, you're the guy.
Yeah.
That happens to me at TEA events.
Yeah.
So they said, "Hey, can you bring me back some cheese?" And I'm going,
How do you know about the cheese?
"Yeah, no."
How did you find out about the cheese?
Yeah. How do who do you know?
Are you a plant? Am I being recorded right now?
Exactly. And I was just like, I don't know who you are. You're creeping me out right now. You know way too much about my life, and I've never seen you before in my life.
Yeah.
So they would go away, and it got to the point before I left that job that every time we landed in Curacao, the guys would be out there because we could take, if memory serves, we could take 2 wheels apiece through customs without a problem. So the captain and myself, because I was first officer at the time, would take 4 wheels of cheese through customs every day.
And this is literally just filling cheese orders or
from
whatever.
friends and stuff.
Yeah.
It was like people we actually knew, not the randos that would come up on the street. But So we would, it got to the point the guy would marshal us in like you see him do at the airports and things, and with the little wands.
Yeah.
And next to him would be 4 wheels of cheese sitting on the ramp. And
I
the
was
fuel
gonna say,
truck would
at some
pull
point,
up.
those customs guys are looking at him and says, "Dude, you've got to be backed up. You eat way too much cheese."
I think maybe because I wasn't like the person who gathered the orders for it all.
You weren't the fence.
I was not the fence. No.
You were just the mule.
Yeah, that's hence the name.
Cheese mule.
And I think some of them were like the custom because we were friends with them, and they're like, "Hey, can you get us this stuff? We'll give you the we'll make it legal and all that."
I didn't even realize that the Dutch islands were just known for their available cheese.
I didn't either before I went there, and I mean, we actually broke down there one day. I think that was one of the times that we had the fire.
I'm sorry. One of the times we had the fire. Well, you did mention earlier that you carried your overnight bag in the event you broke down, which is already just screaming mechanical excellence.
That's everybody.
Is this a story for like the refill?
This might be a refill story, but hey,
Well, there are 3 fire stories.
oh okay, well,
Well, we're gonna have to narrow it down. This is only an hour show today.
so real quick. So last week we had talked about what was it the Bacardi Limitada.
Yeah, it's right there.
Yeah. And we
Grand
said
Reserve Limitada.
Grand Reserve, and we said, hey, this would make an excellent old fashioned, smoked old fashioned. I brought all of the fixins.
There's a lot of accoutrement here in the studio.
Yeah, there's apparatus and ingredients. So I know that we had talked about using regular bitters, but I have brought all of the bitters.
Yes.
And I didn't know if you wanted to have a quick discussion before we went to the refill of which one to use.
I thought we just used the regular. I have the orange one, but
Yeah. So I have orange. I have regular.
okay, as one does.
I also have coffee
Oh,
because come on, it's me. If it's
sounds
not gonna be
good,
rum, if it's not gonna be
but-
rum flavored,
But the when we were talking about that nice traditional,
yeah.
albeit rum, but traditional old fashioned smoked coffee doesn't seem to lean towards that.
Okay, we have chocolate.
Okay.
Could be interesting. Grapefruit.
That one might
that's a
actually,
bold
'cause
choice.
that one might not be bad because typically you would use some orange zest, which, by the way, I do have orange
Oh, there you go.
and black cherries.
And last but not least is just aromatic cocktail bitters.
So I know when they make the bamboo rum old fashioned at Executive, that's orange and chocolate.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, which is exactly why I have both orange and chocolate. I bought them specifically to reverse engineer that recipe.
And that's good
Oh, I have that
because
recipe.
the bamboo, is very tropical, very banana notes. It's very sweet.
Uh huh.
We're talking about very traditional, but we can make more than one,
I mean, why wouldn't we?
We can make more than one.
unless we run out of time in the episode.
The refill is really just 45 minutes long, and it's us sloshing our way through 18 different versions of.
Fantastic. Hey, Sandy, change the sheets on the guest bedroom because we're going to have some crash. Anyway, let's take a quick break, and we'll be back for the refill.
Ground control to Major Tom. Ground control to Major Tom. Take your protein pills and put your helmet on. 10. Ground control to Major Tom. 7. 6. Commencing countdown, engines on. 3. 2. Check ignition and may God's love be with you. This is ground control to Major Tom.
Hey, everybody, welcome back to the refill. As you were saying earlier, we're going to do a traditional old-fashioned with rum, but make it the traditional way, and we're going to smoke this shit up.
Yeah. Only making a few concessions because of poor planning on our part. So, do you want the hipster bitters, or do you want the Walmart bitters?
Whenever I think bitters, I think like like flannel.
You think
Torn up.
bearded
Bow ties.
flannel?
Yeah, yeah,
Okay, so you want the hipster bitters?
yeah.
This is nice stuff. This is not the. Oh yeah, just it smells aromatic. So what I'm doing is I'm putting the bitters on the sugar cube. And I'm gonna make one of these. I'm gonna make one, and I'm gonna split it up for everybody.
Sure.
That way we can make more of them. And again, we're using the Bacardi Reserva Limitada, as reviewed last week.
This is the drying out my glass. Sounds like a frog.
I brought extra glasses for everybody. I don't need that one.
But this is my 33 glass.
I'm being really careful not to spill on the floor.
Yeah,
Garrick doing his mad scientist
That would be
impression over
bad.
here.
I mean,
it would be
we've
bad.
talked before about the fact
For
that the Rum and Dirty
you.
Studio is also my cat's bathroom.
Yeah, also that. And now I'm placing it inside of the little smoky TARDIS chamber contraption,
I might need to get me a TARDIS smoker
as heard from episode 42. And I pack in the little the wood chips get put into the little smoker bong.
I say that
contraption.
I would want one of these, but I don't know that I would use it regularly enough.
No.
Well, the box. So usually I hook the hose directly up to like a shaker, so I can smoke directly into a shaker, and then I shake the smoke that way. But the box you could use for cheese
to display it appropriately?
and other assorted meats.
Yes.
Okay, so now let's see. I set this on fire, hit the bong. It kind of reminds me of Christmas when you have a nice fire going in the fireplace.
Reminds me of that scene from Fast Times at Ridgemont High when all the guys, Spicoli and his buddies, get out of the van.
Yeah, that's 100% what this reminds me of.
Right now, and it smells good.
It smells delicious.
Right now.
It just smells like there's a campfire in the studio.
God, I really hope that we don't set off the fire
There's a
alarm.
detector over there, but if we do,
Should
the
we
listener-
turn on the fan?
the listeners will get to hear that. And they could, okay. Aaron's going over there to do that. Aaron's got the fan. Give it a little.
Yeah, don't hit the one switch because it'll turn off the studio.
Okay, I think we're going to call that good on the smoking goodness. I'll leave this smoldering.
How long does that sit in the box? Hot boxing.
Hot box to flavor, I believe, is the formal recommendation.
As you do.
As you do.
I think there's.
Or until she says stop.
I think there might. I think there might be enough residual hot boxing going on in the room that everything might just taste like smoke anyway.
Interesting.
So I'm going to are you going to use your 33, Wes?
Yes, please.
Okay, well, so we're going to take one of those. Now, Greg, do you want to remind the listeners what we thought of this rum last week? For anybody that may not have been here last week,
Yeah, I mean,
it doesn't feel like hitting pause and going back and listening to last week.
No, a solid sipper. We didn't like it with ice. It was really good neat. For the price point for this particular rum, it's not one that I would recommend. Over say like a good Zacapa XO or something like that. When you compare the price, it's just not the same. But like if it's in your bar, it's solid. It's good.
Ooh. And it emerges from the hot box. Oops.
Yeah, this one, when we put in ice, it just went bad. Splash of Coke cleaned it back up, but again, then it's not the same thing.
Yeah, and I don't know if bad is really. It didn't do anything for it. It was weird. Usually, you expect something to happen, and just nothing happened. Okay.
Did you twist those orange peels? Get those oils out of there?
Yeah, I'm gonna give them a little. Give them a little encouragement in the glass with my bar spoon.
fantastic.
There you go.
Okay. So,
So this is a very little bit. We're definitely going to be making more of these.
yeah, it just feels like the next one, whatever direction we go, just make a really big batch of.
Just double it or triple it, because
You know,
there you go.
You know, it's only an hour show.
It's only an hour. Yeah, yeah, exactly.
Smells great. Great on the nose. You definitely get
Oh,
those.
wow.
That citrus and fruit from the garnish. The smokiness. I'm picking it up. Not even the same glass, but which might also be something too. Because generally,
I'm honestly picking up the smokiness in the drink, your drink, my laptop. Like, this whole room is just smoky.
yeah. But here we go. Don't tell me that you don't like that. Is strong smoky in that drink.
Yep.
That's not in the room. That's in that drink.
That's in the drink.
That's really good.
It's very good.
I think with the smoke and the hipster bitters,
That's the way to go.
yeah, I don't even know if I want to make it with another one of these bitters.
You know, the one thing I would do different is I would put an ice cube in it. It needs to be a little colder.
It is a little colder. Well, do you want to try it with Walmart bitters?
No,
No, you don't. Just
no, you got it right. There's no reason to change it.
Oh, there you go. Done.
Okay,
Well, okay then. We'll shit.
okay. So,
On that note, confirmed smoky old fashioned hipster bitters. Bacardi Limitada is fantastic.
yeah. Well, now while you make us a real frickin' drink, you want to tell and actually appropriately so with the smoker here. Your plane was on fire.
Oh, yeah. So
And one other question: have you ever had snakes on a motherfucking plane?
I have never had snakes on a motherfucking plane.
Okay,
No.
it's a fair question.
It's reasonable.
It's not reasonable.
Hey, I flew cargo for a while. It's
Motherfucking
reasonable.
snakes on a plane.
like Air America cargo, or is that hitting too close to home?
I can neither confirm nor deny those allegations.
There we go. I love Mel Gibson. Mel Gibson and Robert Downey Jr.
Oh, that was one of their. I love that movie.
That was a great movie.
And what about
I
Con Air?
can neither confirm nor deny that I met some of those guys.
Yeah. Listeners, guess what? That's a real thing.
Like
Still
Mel
is
Gibson,
today.
some of those guys,
It
or
still
like
is a real thing.
the real guys,
The real guys.
the guys. We're at now.
Yeah, we're at now. Not
Gotcha.
then.
Flashbacks last week. We should turn off that fan now that the smoke is dissipated. Or do we just ride it out since you're going to smoke it up again?
I was going to smoke it up again, so I was going to just let it ride.
My drink is hot boxing right now. How fun. I guess you're going to need more.
So
Or
Aaron,
is
get
that-
to the part where you're on fire in the plane.
So the one in Curacao, because again, there were 3 times when that kind of occurred. We were probably about an hour out from Curacao, which, for those who have seen a map, there is no land between Puerto Rico and Curacao. It is just once you go off the shore of Puerto Rico,
It is just Bermuda Triangle the whole way, baby.
pretty much, yeah. And I think we were about an hour out, and we got a smell, and we didn't know what it was, because anything out
was
of
it
the
Garrick's rum old fashioned?
it was not, because that actually smells good. This smelled like things that were dying,
It smelled like old tires and
kind of, yeah.
the,
And
the grease interceptor at a mortuary.
yeah, pretty much. So
As you do.
I'm painting pictures with the language.
yes, well done. But so we had about an hour left to go into Curacao, and the smell just was pervasive. And we did checking everything on the gauging. There's nothing that we could see that was out of the ordinary. We didn't have any weird flickers of stuff. We didn't have any, nothing. We couldn't find it.
So at this point, you're kind of like, we're going to tell the ground crew when we land, by the way, there's a smell.
Yeah. Well, yeah, pretty much. So we just kind of requested priority into Curacao, which was not a big deal. We were the only ones coming in at that time. So we just said, we're just going to aim straight for it, and there you go. And landed, turned off, and we shut everything down as fast as we could.
Okay.
Because, again, it's a bad smell.
Yeah.
And we don't know if it's coming from the
Like
cargo.
leathery burnt bacon.
Yeah, like burning wires. And
Burning. That's a very specific. When you let the smoke, many people don't realize this. Electronic equipment actually works off of smoke
it's the magic smoke.
running through the wires.
Yeah.
And electronic equipment stops working as soon as you release all the smoke.
Yeah. Oh no, I've seen
Anything
that
could be
magic
a
smoke
smoke
many
machine
times.
if you use it wrong enough.
So
Not what you want to hear in an airplane, but yes.
so we got out of the plane, and the smell started to dissipate a little bit, but not very much. And we're inspecting the exterior. We don't see anything. We're inspecting what we can see in the cargo compartment. We don't see anything. And then we open the nose. On the airplane, some of the electronics was in the nose. So there's an inspection door you can open. And we open that, and all of the smell hits you at once. It's like, oh, we found it.
Oh, here's where it is.
Yeah, here's where it is and why we could smell it. It was coming through all of the instrumentation into the cabin.
How terrifying is that?
Yeah, well, it was more terrifying when I looked up because the thing was right at sort of the bottom of the compartment was at eye level. I looked up, and I see a black jet out from a motor that's probably about the size of 2 or 3 Campbell soup cans.
Okay.
And we couldn't figure out what that motor was because it's not. We're trying to fly the airplane, not take it apart.
Yeah.
But it was clearly heating this insulation to the point that the insulation was burning.
So it was clearly a failed motor.
Yeah. And we were running around. We didn't know what it was. I still have a picture to this day of me on my back, having been lifted into the compartment to look for what this was, with the captain at the time, who was one of my favorite people to fly with of all time. It's a Venezuelan guy. And he's looking into the camera, and I'm on my back, like upside down into this thing, looking for it. So we wind up calling our ops base and going, okay, well, we don't know what this is. We're not really comfortable because we do see evidence of a fire. We don't want to take off again.
Yeah.
And we gotta keep going. So they take us on a tour of Curacao, which, of course, being part of the Netherlands, has beaches that are a lot of fun.
The fun beaches.
Yes.
Yeah. Okay.
And then, like, we had lunch at their house
Wink,
and the whole
wink,
thing.
nudge, nudge.
Yeah, wink, wink, nudge, nudge. Lunch at their house. We went around, did some shopping. We did the whole thing, and like, oh, we finally get a call back from the maintenance facility. So that's the windshield wiper motor.
What?
Yeah. So pull this breaker and don't reset it until you get home, and you should be fine.
Did it rain?
No.
So
Well, you're fine then.
So how close? I mean, can a windshield wiper motor? I mean, would that have exploded, caught the plane on fire, and ended your trip abruptly?
Well, I mean, anytime a piece
Somewhere
of
offshore.
electronics is, I've got other stories like that.
Why didn't you start with those?
Yeah, we want to hear the ones. We want to hear the good ones, man.
What part of it's an hour show was confusing?
You asked for the one on fire. I gave you the one on fire.
What? Well, hey, as soon as I'm done mixing round 2 of said smoky old Bacardi Reserva Limitada old fashions, we got a little
Did you
game.
say Limitada?
Limitada? Limitada.
Yeah. Limitada is a pastry that
Yep.
you dip in the.
Potato.
Yeah.
We have a fun game we're gonna play.
All right.
Oh yeah.
So, all right. Seeing as it's an hour show, then I will tell you the short version of this story as best I can.
Gotcha.
One night we used to leave Caracas at about 10 o'clock at night, head back towards.
Cheers.
Mabuhay.
Gesundblatt.
That's excellent.
Yeah.
So it's pitch black, and now we used to fly back, and there was this particular night there was no moon, and you look outside.
That's
and,
no moon. It's
Yeah,
just no moon.
there's just no moon.
That's no moon. End of story.
So it's just pitch black outside, and it's bad weather. We're flying at something like 20,000 feet. This airplane didn't go to the highest altitudes. and we were actually picking up ice because it was summertime in the Caribbean. You go up high enough, it gets cold. You go into clouds, you pick up ice on the airplane.
Like a bag of ice for drinks later, or
No, like the kind of
Explain
stuff
that.
you'd get when it's wintertime in the north. Like the airplane would actually accumulate ice on the outside of it.
Having been on an airplane de-iced leaving Orlando International Airport, I am aware of this phenomenon.
Yes, it is not a fun phenomenon. No one likes it.
Anyway,
so we had you have a bunch of systems on the airplane to help you deal with that and make sure you can stay flying. For whatever reason, one of those systems did not activate when we commanded it, and I don't know if the other guy, because it was late at night and we'd been flying for 16 hours,
and there's nothing left to do.
right? Just didn't see the switch or whatever. But what we would do occasionally, and not interfering with aircraft operations, we listen to music. So we'd have usually on one side we listen to the radio on one side, we'd have music on the other, something like that. And I was listening to, I think it was Velvet Revolver, Fall to Pieces.
Nice.
Wow.
Yeah. And all of a sudden, he realizes this one particular system isn't working, and so he hits it again, turns it back on. Well, this one is designed to prevent ice from accumulating on the airplane instead of making it go away once it's already there. So when he turned it back on, what appeared to have happened is a block of ice shot through the right engine.
Ouch.
Well, it does sound a whole lot like the end of the world when that happens, because you heard a crack and a boom. You hear the engine unwind, and you feel like
You look out the window and there's a gremlin. pulling
That's
parts
like the
off.
Millennium Falcon when it fails to go into hyperspace.
Yeah, it's a little more violent than that. Because all of a sudden you have 1,000 horsepower on one side and 0 on the other.
Ooh.
Yeah, so you feel like you got kicked to the left pretty hard. And
Suddenly you're on a NASCAR track driving in circles.
yeah, well, and this airplane did not have an autopilot either, so I am hand flying this thing at this altitude, and because it's dark, I can't see immediately which way the airplane got, which engine it was, because I'm just trying to hold on to it. It takes me a second to figure out which rudder pedal to push. And in that time, because we had so much ice on the airplane anyway, it didn't want to stay aloft on one motor. This is, for the listener's benefit, very, very rare. Airplanes will fly on one engine all the time. I've had a lot of engine failures over my course of my career. And this one was just because there was so much ice on the airplane, it didn't want to stay in the air. So we started to descend uncontrolled.
You mean fall?
I mean fall. Yeah.
Yeah. I did that once. I once descended rapidly down a staircase.
Yeah.
No. Wasn't fun.
So I got control of the airplane, and we were at least stable. The airplane wasn't sliding around anymore, but we didn't have enough power to stay in the air. And the left engine is, of course, full power, and the right engine is just out there windmilling. And you can hear in the headset, because, and Garrick, you guys will know this, the igniters in the engine are very, very high voltage.
Yeah.
And the intercom system's low voltage. So I hear a ping every time the igniters try to fire and relight the motor.
And those things can only do that so often.
Yeah. Anyway, so all of a sudden the engine catches, the igniters work, the the right engine spins back up because it was a compressor stall. As soon as the airplane is stable, and we can pull out of the dive, and we were approximately 10,000 feet from where we started.
Wow.
And we stay there until all the ice comes off the airplane. And we then climb halfway back up to make sure we're out of the icing layer, and we return to Puerto Rico without a problem. When I say without a problem, I mean the airplane was fine. I had never experienced anything like this. I was like 21, 22 years old.
Bring me my brown pants.
You're there just shaking.
Mm-hmm. So, but when we got in the weather, I pulled the one earphone out of the iPod, so there was nothing going through it, but it was a pain in the to get out from underneath the headset. And about 10 minutes after we recovered, my captain looks over at me and says, "You're not supposed to be listening. Hey, you pay attention." We had some stuff. I said, "I have mute," and I held up the other end of my cord, and there's no music.
Yeah.
Hasn't been music since we left Caracas, actually.
Yeah.
And he goes, "Well, then, will you shut up?" And what are you talking about? He goes, "You have been singing the last two, the chorus of this Velvet Revolver song for 15 minutes."
Just unconsciously.
And it's, I think I can still remember. It's like, and it was the "Fall to Pieces" song. So in the chorus, it goes, I'm falling to pieces."
Yeah.
After we just fell 10,000 feet. So yeah, and he was really nice. I mean, he was one of my favorite people I ever flew with. But he's like, about 10 minutes in after that, he's like, "Do you want me to fly the airplane?" I said, "No, I've got a career. I need to be able to suck it up." And we made it back to San Juan.
God.
As one does. Hey, real fast, because we want to play a surprise game that you don't know about and you're not prepared for, which is going to be great for us.
Oh, good.
We'll take our last break. This is going to be a 2-break episode. We'll take our last break, and then we'll come back and do the game.
Me, I'm like a pilot. G5 jet, I'm fly shit. You cannot deny it. Oh, no. No. Bitches be on my dick. Designer threads, I'm fly shit. You cannot deny it. Oh, no. No. Better back up off me, bitch. Watch me ball. Better back up off me, bitch. Watch me ball. Better back up off me, bitch. Watch me ball. Better back up off me, bitch. Watch me ball. Nigga, every law and every rule I break. Feds trying to watch moves I make. Every day I get birthday cake. There's 100 racks there in that safe. 100 grams there on that plate. I ain't think about catch no case. Nigga, my safe house super safe. I zip your zip, sound time no lace. Time for YSL, nigga run tail. I'm fly as hell. Big Bentley, Moose no LP, just 2 songs. A side, B side, ride gang, bitch, that's right. From NO to NY, got shooters, bitch, don't act cute shit. We was born broke, no silver spoon.
Okay, everybody, welcome to the post-fill, I guess. But
The refill.
the refill, as we often call it. So this is what we were kind of warning you about, our little surprise game that we're going to play with you. Are you ready?
Yes.
Ladies and gentlemen.
Is it Kanye or Conway?
That's right. You have to guess, is this a Kanye West quote or a Conway Twitty quote?
Oh,
No,
this will be good.
Usually,
You'd think that it's going to be easy.
No.
so we did song lyrics for the first go around, and Greg didn't get 100%. Kanye
I
West.
did pretty
song,
good. I
or-
got like 12 out of 15.
Yeah, still. So I have 10 quotes for you here, and you have to tell us if it's Conway Twitty or Kanye West.
Well, this
and
is
actually, didn't Kanye West rename himself to Yee?
Yeah.
So shouldn't we rename this bit like Yee or Yeehaw?
Well, this will be good because I'm not entirely familiar with either one of their catalogs. So
Neither
Okay.
was I, so that's kind of what you...
So Kanye West is a very accomplished rap star.
I might have heard of him.
Conway Twitty is a country western singer from the 60s and 70s.
Yep.
Ladies and gentlemen, Mr. Conway Twitty.
Twitty. Yeah, okay. So, so these are quotes from either one of them. And please respond Twitty or West, because I'm not going to be able to tell if you're saying Kanye or Conway.
That's fair.
Yeah, okay. First quote. Listen to advice, but follow your heart.
That's going to be Twitty.
That is Twitty. You are correct. Okay. Quote number 2. It's not can, it's will. You have to will things into fruition.
That's going to be West.
Correct. Number 3. We came into a broken world, and we're the cleanup crew.
West.
Also correct.
I thought these would be harder.
Okay. You learn the most from life's hard knocks.
Twitty.
Twitty. Fads are the kiss of death. When the fad goes away, you go with it.
West.
Twitty.
Is it really?
That's Twitty.
Wow.
See?
I'm the only thing I'll ever... Excuse me. I'm the only thing I'll ever hold against you.
West.
Twitty.
Is it really?
I'm not making this shit up.
Yep.
Keep your nose out the sky, keep your heart to God, and keep your face to the rising sun.
Twitty.
West.
Jeez.
Not so easy, is it?
I was doing well there for a minute.
Nothing in life is promised except death.
West.
That's West.
5-3, by the way.
Yeah.
The artists who stopped having hits are the ones who were led into something that wasn't them.
Twitty.
Twitty. It's my instinct more than my voice that keeps me on top.
West.
That's Twitty.
60%.
Yeah.
So,
Wow.
okay, so that's 10. Are you ready for the bonus question?
Oh.
Oh, the bonus question.
How many points is the bonus question worth?
I don't know. Okay, bonus question. Half the hoes hate, half them love me. The ones that hate me only hate me because they ain't me.
I'm pretty sure that's West.
Trick question. That was Ja Rule.
Nice.
So how did Aaron do?
He, again, what did you say, 60%?
Yeah, 60. Yeah, 6 out of 10. Yeah, I love Conway Twitty. The more I read about that guy, the more he was just like the bad boy of country western music in the mid 70s.
Hilarious.
That's pretty good.
Okay, so that was Conway or Conway or
That was
Play the outro, Greg.
yeah.
Kanye or Conway?
All right, so good game. We're going to keep doing that. They're not always going to be Conway or Kanye. Sometimes they're going to just be other artists, but we'll keep the bit name.
Yeah. The bit name is hilarious, but yeah, to your point, there are only so many Kanye West and Conway Twitty quotes and songs and things that we can go back to.
Yeah, yep. So just because I know this is going to take, we were just tell us about your simulator.
Oh,
this is a nerd thing.
this is about as nerd as it gets. Yeah. So, COVID, I decided that because I can't fly airplanes anymore for medical reasons, to build myself a virtual reality flight simulator in my house.
Which is fucking awesome.
Yeah, that's right. You flew it.
Yeah. Badly, I might add.
Well,
Even given simple tasks like, you should turn around and go chase that guy.
so I've had a 20-year F-18 pilot fly it and give me feedback on how close it was to the real Hornet.
Ooh.
And he went, I can tell you where it's off, but it's close enough.
Seriously?
Seriously.
What was it off in? Just feeling for controls or response?
The one that I remember is it goes too fast. You can't hit 600 knots on the deck. You can't do some of that stuff.
So when you're flying around and it's crazy fast, the real ones are slower.
So is the software somebody else's software, or did you program it or customize it?
The software is a suite called Digital Combat Simulator World, DCS World.
Okay.
And they did all the simulation modeling. The other part that he said that they got a little off was the buttonology on how the radar systems work, and obviously the classified stuff is not in there. Yeah. But by and large, you're going to be able to fly the airplane.
Nice. Now you got other planes too, if I remember right. When I played it, it wasn't like on a 747 or something.
Yeah, so I've got the military side, and then I've got Microsoft Flight Sim 2020, which finally got good VR support. So yeah, they're on the military. I've got the A-10, I've got the F-14, I've got the F-16, and then a couple of the others. The P-51.
Oh, that'd be fun.
So I would love to try the P-51.
That's good.
Now, the fun part about this is that you have approached Garrick and I about either personally or through our various connections in the themed entertainment experiential industry to help you make this a motion base.
Yes, that is true. And in fact, my dad did it for a company called Moog, making electric motion bases, but they were the certified kind.
The certified, yeah, because Moog does some real shit.
Yeah, yeah, and
Like that's a real company.
I showed him, okay, I got a 48-inch throw actuator, and I can do this, and 6 degrees of freedom, and that. And he goes, "How much do you think you can build that for?" I said, "Well, it's probably about, $5,000 to $8,000 at the time." And he went, "That would be easily $150,000, $200,000 just to get the parts, not necessarily to set it up, because the big hurdle, as you guys know better than me, is the paperwork is not the equipment.
Yeah.
Like, it's if you want it certified so that, like I used to do, go in a box on sticks and come out with a type rating,
Oh yeah, no, that's yeah. If you're doing a motion base for an animatronic or something, like, man, just go to your garage, freaking build one.
Yeah.
Yeah. Oh, you want to put a person on that? Ooh.
Yeah, and that's one of the things we were talking about is the one I want is the one that even have people in it. I want one that'll hurt you. Right.
It's a fun way to describe a really good guest experience.
Yeah.
Is, hey, by the way, don't fuck this up.
Yeah. Or
You'll regret it.
So I was talking with my buddy. Actually, it's not vetted. So I was talking with my buddy when I was out, and
I was talking to a human being
yes,
that I
was
might
talking
know.
to a human being. We like to make sure that people that we mention are okay with us mentioning them. So I'll leave it at that. Anyway,
yeah.
he was talking.
Henry Kissinger has not approved this show.
Yeah, yeah, he might not. But he was talking to, or like he used to work at a place. Again, can't mention that. You know what? I should.
This
just not
guy,
tell the
Greg.
story.
Greg might know worked at a place that he can't mention and did this thing that is
Anyway.
vaguely related to what Aaron's talking about, but you're not under NDA, so we can't say it out loud.
Yeah. Well, this is
Great story,
He's got
Greg.
a new chair. It's a
He's got a new chair.
VR motion chair.
Oh, okay.
For experiential art kind of stuff.
I was
theme
going to
park
say I have a
stuff,
new chair too. It's leather.
Yeah, no, this is
reclines.
dynamic motion chair experiential kind of stuff.
A dynamic motion chair experience. I thought of the Haunted Mansion as soon as you said that. I'm like, I'm in a chair.
It's dynamic.
It's dynamic.
Yeah, it's got a cup holder.
Yeah. Welcome to the experience.
No, but the other
It's
side
like
of that is
those dudes from Wall-E flying around.
one of, and we didn't mention it. Some of our listeners might be like, okay, Sean was going to be on this one because he was going to be at the studio at 10 o'clock on Sunday morning.
yeah.
I talked to Sean at 10:15 on Sunday morning. He had just landed
Yeah.
in Orlando. So he wasn't able to. So he does want to come over soon. He's traveling again, maybe next week. But he would be
brush up on your Kanye West songs, Sean.
yeah. But he would be
Oh,
he'd be a good person to help.
he
with this chair.
absolutely would, because that's kind of his gig now.
Well, and even with that, like he's good at that gig because he went to North Carolina School of the Arts, and he, I think his advanced degree is in motion control or something like that for animated scenery.
Yeah. Yeah. Oh, he's got some awesome stories about.
Yeah. I'm speaking general because I don't know what his degree is in, but I know that that's what he did.
Well, you guys got to come into my new house now because I have a dedicated simulator and virtual reality room.
Ooh.
I have a dedicated podcast room.
Yeah, you do, and
No,
it's kind of awesome in here.
This is like Nerdvana.
It is.
Yeah. Other than the clutter, which I'm working on.
Yeah, but it's a living space. There's always going to be clutter.
Yeah,
This is true.
you actually work in here.
Although there's a lot less bottles of rum on the floor. Holy shit.
Yeah, we are whittling through it.
Yeah, you need to get on that.
Yeah, you're down to like 15 bottles.
Well, there's a few over here too. I separated them so that he didn't hit them with the chair.
Okay.
That's valid.
You know what? We're going to give you that Old Man Guava Berry as a parting gift.
Take it.
Ooh,
Take it.
Yeah, take
Don't
it home.
ever bring it back.
Throw it at pigeons. It's
throw it.
It's not as bad as Old St. Feet.
it's not as bad as Old St. Feet. Old St. Feet is the only rum. Like, I have some shit rum on my rum shelf where it's like, oh, that's really bad. But you know what? If I get some Mountain Dew one of these days, like, it's gonna. Old St. Feet is so terrible. I gave it away to somebody because
It's the Malort of rum.
it's the Malort of rum. One of our friends is like, oh, my dad loves that shit. He says it tastes like, not Rumplemints. What the fuck does it taste like? Some
Malort.
No, old-fashioned ice cream, some
I don't know.
pine derby. I don't know, whatever.
Yeah.
Anyway, he's like, yeah, it tastes like this ice cream. He loves it, blah, blah, blah. I talked to the guy's dad, after the fact. He's like, oh no, that shit's terrible. I'm like, really? The only reason I gave it to you is because John said you liked it. No, not me, man.
That's John.
What the fuck? Oh, that stuff is so bad.
Yeah.
It's so bad. We actually confused another rum with Old Saint Feet at some point in time. We apologized. We called it out. We're like, oh, look, we're sorry. We didn't mean to confuse the two because that's so bad.
The funny thing is Warren, we did the episode where Warren tried to, play a joke on us and bring the 3 crappiest rums he could find. All 3 of them better.
Absolutely better.
That's impressive.
Lady Blythe tastes like birthday cake.
Yeah.
Old Saint Feet tastes like feet.
Yeah.
Is that its real name, Old Saint Feet?
No, it's Old Saint Pete.
Okay.
But we nicknamed it Old Saint Feet because it tastes like you take really shitty rum and then filter it through a gym sock.
Yeah.
That's been in a locker for several months.
Yeah.
And then you ate the gym sock.
Yeah, it's all uphill from there. It's like a gym sock old fashioned. And we could not figure out something to do to this rum to make it edible.
That's
there
impressive.
was no
knowing you two.
cocktail, no old fashioned, no.
We tried it with Coke. We tried it with Sprite, Mountain Dew. We tried everything.
You name it. Like we did. I was dead set on finding something that made this rum passable. Nope.
Wow.
Not there.
Yeah, officially the worst.
Officially the worst.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All things must come to an end.
All good things.
Yeah, or things. We'll let them be.
Or things.
Yeah, all things. Good, you tell us whatever. You're listening. You listen to 56 minutes of this, so it must be okay at this point.
Unless they skipped ahead or their cat sat on a phone
or they're just masochistic.
Yeah, could be.
There's that. No, it's like
They forgot the
listening
safe word.
to Volgon poetry.
Volgon poetry.
So with all that, again, especially this episode, we got some new stuff with the Conway or Kanye intro. Thank you, Dave Martin.
DemoDavePro.com.
Check us out on our website, rumandnerdy.com. That's ANDnerdy.com.
Check us out on social media, also AND, Rum and Nerdy.
And email us if you have a note, something for us to try. We said something stupid and you want to call us out on it. Actually, that last one, don't do. Just shut up. Keep the opinions to yourself. But if you have some positive reinforcement, email us at show@rumandnerdy.com.
And a big thank you to Aaron for driving out and spending some time with us this evening to drink booze and tell weird stories.
Yeah, oftentimes we're like, hey, do you have a website to promote your company or side business? But you probably don't.
No, thanks, guys, for having me. It's been a lot of fun.
Yeah, we talked about it for a while. So thanks for the airplane stories and give me a wheel of cheese. Please.
Cheese Mule.
Yeah. Anyway, all that said,
stay nerdy, my friends.
Well, I was on my ACT upgrade, standard 4BX. The AWACS guy was out to lunch and I couldn't get no decks. I knew that they were hostile, but I couldn't take the chance. So I flipped the switch to outboard and said, boys, it's time to dance. And they asked me where you go, and as I started to diverge, said I had enough of this shit, man, I'm going to the merge. Cause BBR is great, but now it's time to have some fun. So Dark Star Judy Judy, I'm going in for gun. Well, I was flying out of Nellis, doing dark gray wick support. I was out there by my lonesome cause my buddy was aboard. And I saw that big fat fucker in a turn off to my right. He was either lost or he was looking for a fight. So I put him in my hut and I almost flipped the switch. But then I thought, how could I miss? Cause that's a huge bitch. And only a big pussy would use Stu Fox once. It's time to get medieval. I'm going in for gun.
Morning, pilots. This is Squad Leader. We're about 20 minutes out from the Korean Peninsula. Since we were all scrambled from different bases, go ahead and introduce yourself. I'm Wildcard.
Sidewinder.
Viper here.
Clown penis.
Pilot, you got a little static there. Mind repeating that call sign again?
Sure thing. Clown penis. Clown like like the circus, penis like your penis. Lovely day to fly, huh, boys? Clown penis, over and out.
Drill squad, this is Honolulu ground control. Comm signal's a little spotty, so we just want to clarify a couple things. One, are you guys saying clown penis? And two, why? Over.
Aloha, Honolulu. That is affirmative. You are hearing clown penis because I am clown penis. Over.
Copy. Is this some sort of pilot joke?
A joke? Ma'am, a pilot's call sign is very serious. When an enemy sees me on his tail, I want him to feel the same way that you'd feel if a clown showed you his penis. Confused, unsettled, and most of all, very, very scared.